Hello and welcome everybody to another podcast. My name is Don Pacella.
And I'm Angela Pacella, and we're with the Pacella Real Estate Professionals.
And this is Welcome to Livingston, where we talk all about Livingston County and have local businesses in and highlight local businesses and local events. And we are super excited about today's episode.
We're excited to invite Sydney Plaskey in, and she is the owner of Sonny's on the Corner, which just recently opened up here in downtown Brighton.
Yes, I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, great. I like the signage is all super sunny, and it kind of matches the store and whatnot. But why don't you tell us a little bit about your store?
Sure.
Types of things you sell, and how did you put it together here?
Awesome. So we just opened on July 1st, so it's only been 3 months so far. So still definitely just learning as I go. But it's called Sonny's on the Corner, right in the middle of downtown Brighton, and we've got gift items, we've got women's accessories and apparel, and then we've also got baby and toddler clothes and a small section of men's Detroit and Michigan gear. So we're kind of starting a little bit more spread out and trying to determine what exactly our customers want the most before we kind of hone in on something a little bit more specific. I think probably in the next year we might downsize or upgrade some of those different categories to kind of just fit what the Brighton customer wants.
Yeah, it's a nice variety, I think, because then it appeals to, a wider audience. And so then I'm sure as time goes on, you'll be able to sort of hone in or, introduce other items. And
definitely, that's what I'm thinking. And as the seasons go by, even I'm trying to determine what's best as far as I know with the holidays coming up, I might want more gift items. And so it's definitely a learning experience kind of as I go. And I'm sure next year I'll be even better. And with each year that goes by and trying to figure out exactly what I should buy for that season.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be so interesting because downtown Brighton has such a walkable shopping community.
Yes.
So, and with the different events and different festivals that come in and such, I assume that, what you're bringing in and what you're buying to sell, just varies so much based on all of that.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm living my life 3 months ahead of time. Halloween's over, now it's holidays. And so that's been really interesting to kind of get through. And even, I was talking with my niece about Halloween yesterday. I'm talking to her, well, what are you going to be for Halloween? And my sister's like, that's not even for a month, she's not even sure. So I just feel like I'm way ahead of the time now and trying to choose what I need to get out in the store. But the festivals have been super, super helpful. And there's so much foot traffic in downtown Brighton. And with my location near all the restaurants, there's a lot of people that come in right before or after their reservations for lunch and dinner. And that walkability is a huge, huge factor for the success of the store.
So I'm curious, with having such a large variety of different items, what's been popular so far?
Yeah, so I think the baby stuff has been great. I've got a lot of requests to go into children's clothing as well. I'm I have 1,000 square feet. I need to cut it off somewhere. So I'm cutting it off somewhere around 5T size. So I've got all kinds of baby and toddler, and I think a lot of people are coming in to buy gifts for baby showers or maybe new grandparents buying for their grandchildren, because we really do have high quality baby and toddler clothes. And I know there's so much available these days with Amazon and the big box stores. But I think it is a little bit hard to find that true quality. We have a lot of bamboo baby clothes and things like that are great for gifts. So that's really taken off. I would say also another category that's taken off is just the women's more casual wear. So I think with people working from home more now and just not dressing up as much, a lot of the sweaters and sweatsuits and that kind of stuff that I have for women has been doing really well too.
That makes sense. something that's casual and comfortable, but still looks nice. That,
yes.
As women, I think we really still, want to look nice and we don't want to be all
Yeah, you want to be presentable but still comfy. And so anything that I can find that, feels really nice and has really good material, but, it also looks put together, that's what's really selling.
Yeah, great.
Very cool. Very cool. And I love the idea of just walking into shops downtown and such because, you mentioned Amazon or the big box and such, and it's so easy to buy things online, but it's so nice to be able to go into shops and see the uniqueness and see those different items. And I think a lot more people are coming back to that where, before the pandemic, it became so easy to go online. Yes. But I think your shop serves a need there.
especially. I love that you have like such good quality.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been really nice to be able to go to some of the wholesale shows and purchase clothes that way, because that way you can feel it and you can see the quality that's being made, as opposed to ordering everything online and just hoping that it works out. And, I want to be really proud of what I'm selling to my customers and be genuine when I tell them that it's going to hold up, and, it's quality fabric and all of that. So going to those wholesale shows as opposed to just buying online has helped me really to understand the brands that I can trust and, feel things for myself before I'm buying them. So
that makes
that's
sense.
helped a lot.
How does it work in terms of deciding what you're going to want to be selling, so many months in advance?
Yeah. So there, these shows that I'm talking about, they have one's in Michigan. There's one in Chicago that I just recently went to with my mom, and we're going to go to one in February as well. I take my mom with me on these buying trips because I thought it's nice to have kind of 2-generational perspective. And, if there's something that she would wear and I would wear it, I think that will go a long way with our customers, because we do have a wide age gap in who shops at Sunny's. So with her help, I think we're able to pick out some things that really can be worn by multiple generations. So that's been really fun to go with her to some of those shows. And like I said, we're going to Las Vegas in February, and then I think we're going to try to get down to Atlanta for one of the big shows this upcoming summer. So
how fun.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Now, in terms of the products that you carry, what's been kind of the most surprising thing, or something that people would be surprised to find in your store?
So I think a lot of people don't know that we have men's stuff, and it is just a smaller section. I'm not getting into like the men's fashion world per se, but just like some cool, unique T-shirts that are Michigan or Detroit sports related. So I've got some funny, like kind of kitschy T-shirts with little phrases about the Lions or, Red Wings and Tigers, some funny T-shirts that I put right in the display window to try to let people know that I've got stuff that's great for men or women. Most of the T-shirts are men's sizing, but bought by women and men, about the same amount. So that's something that has really taken off too, that I was a little bit surprised about, because I was hesitant in even trying it out in the beginning, just because it so broadens the store even more. But I'm glad I did.
Right. Well, I did see that. I was on your website this morning. I saw the one Lions T-shirt you had, and I can't remember the exact phrasing, but it was like maybe next year since 1952 or something.
Yeah, maybe next year since 1957. That one, that's been our best-selling T-shirt, actually. Yeah. So we had it in white and gray and black now. So that is a huge seller on our website. I think we've sold over 50 of those T-shirts so far, and I continue to reorder it. So it's just funny. You never know what's going to stick. And
right.
But I think, like, especially Lions fans, we can make fun of ourselves a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've got the hats and koozies that say the Lions make me drink, and all that stuff is, it sells, and it's funny, and people like it just for something to wear to the game. So right. I know people have bought that shirt that went to the game that have said, people are stopping and asking me to take pictures with it. So I'm like, great, send them my website now,
there you go.
And they can get one for themselves. So those have been doing really well.
Cool. So since we were kind of just talking about the website, let's kind of segue into that, because it sounds like that's kind of sort of the next big chapter for you.
For sure. So we launched it on August 28th. So it's only been about a month where the website is up and live, and you can get 99% of what's in the store on the website. So we ship out next day. It's super quick. So that is something we're really excited about, especially maybe for people who live here in Brighton but have relatives all over the country, or, their sister lives in a different state or something like that. I'd love for people to be sharing that with people who aren't local, so that they're able to see what we have in store as well. It's been really fun to get it up and running, and the system I'm using, Shopify, made it really easy for me to get the website up and running, and it's been great to be able to just have that, even to show the product pictures, with the models and how they styled each item. Often someone will be in the store and I can just bring it up with the product photos on the website. It makes it a little bit easier. So people can always go there to see what sizes we have left, the prices for everything. And I'm also able to link. So whenever I post on my social media, I can link directly to whatever product I'm talking about, so that people can easily get to that and make their purchases online. So that's been really great too.
Awesome. How fun.
Yeah.
And it seems just more versatile, so that way you can reach a much broader audience.
Definitely. Yeah. So my hopes are that, the audience will continue to broaden and kind of get past just local customers.
Right.
Yeah. Neat. Now, in terms of, for those people that do come in person, being right there in downtown, I know we talked about, people with the restaurants and stopping by and all that.
Yeah.
I've heard, especially we've had, Michelle from Ivory Vines and, some other businesses there, that it's such a great community. So how has that worked out for you so far? It's only been a couple months, but
it is so great. The whole Brighton community has been so welcoming. My first week there, I had so many other businesses on the street coming over with welcome gifts or coupons for their stores, and just, giving me their phone number saying, reach out, if you need anything. And I've already been able to partner. Like we just did something for Pink Week last week where some of the boutiques got together and said that we're going to sell items through the high school for Pink Week. And so we've got all these little group chats going and all that. And it's such a welcoming community for me. And being the new kid on the block, it makes me feel included. And all the other store owners have been very, very just responsive and helpful for me as far as sharing my social media and all of that, which makes for a really great community. And I could say the same thing for the restaurants as well. And a lot of my business comes from people going to Brighton Bar and Grill right next door. So I'm very thankful that they're there, and we're kind of on the same schedule with them as far as being open on Mondays, because I know a lot of other businesses downtown are not, but I know Brighton Bar and Grill's open. So I'm like, we have to be open because, people before and after their meal are always coming in. So I can't say enough good things about how the community has been to me, and I'm trying to get more involved as much as I can. So going to the Chamber of Commerce meetings and meeting about, we just had a meeting about Ladies Night coming up in December. So I'm just trying to be as present as I possibly can to, make sure that I'm staying a part of it all.
Right. And you got a great location there. I mean, you're right there near the alley and back to the Imagination Station area and all that. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's been ideal. The location has been great, especially with the playground behind us, the Imagination Station, because I have toddler and kids clothes. I've got a lot of moms with little kids coming in right before or after they go to the playground. And so that's been great. And having the alley there, I think I foresee in the future having, some smaller type events, in that alley. And I've talked to Oh My Lolly behind me, and, we want to get together and do some of those things in the alley there, I think probably next summer. So I'm really excited about that too.
Seems great to have those opportunities just to partner up. And
absolutely. Yeah. This week we did a little t-shirt swap. Some of us local businesses all met in the alley on Friday and just, swap t-shirts with each other. So we can, this week I'll be repping my Two Dandelions and Oh My Lolly t-shirts and all that. And we just did some trading. So everyone is very supportive of one another, it's been great.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And it's such a great variety of different places. So I think for people coming down to shop, and it's neat because, some of the people in Howell, they sort of do their downtown Howell, some in the Brighton do downtown Brighton, but I think, that there's probably a lot of crossover as well too.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, and I know we talked at the beginning that you just you came in, July 1st, you said, right?
Yes, we opened July 1st.
So how did you come up with the idea? How did you get into being a small business owner downtown?
Yeah. So I've always wanted to own my own business. Even from the time of like middle school and high school is probably when I started talking to my parents about it, and they were super supportive from the start and just said, just make sure it's what you actually want to do and, take your time to decide what that is. And then after college, I worked at a marketing company for a while, which I loved, but I knew I still wanted to get that business experience and then do something on my own. My husband, Jimmy, works downtown Brighton here too, and same thing, he's been very supportive. And so I had worked retail a little bit in college over the summers, and it's something I've always been interested in. Fashion's always something I've been interested in. So when the space became available, that was really when it kind of took off. And my husband sent me the first for lease sign there, and he said, "This location is awesome. Like, can't get a better location." Barb Binkley, who was the previous store owner there, he said, I know Barb, and she would be a great mentor, and I know she would help you through that transition and starting your own store. So, I even though I was very happy with the career I had, I was like, I'll go have a meeting about it, and everything really fell into place really quickly. And, career-wise, our personal lives, we don't have kids yet or anything. I was like, this might be a really good time to take that leap. And, if I don't do it now, I don't know if I'll ever do it.
Right.
So yeah, it all happened within about 2 weeks. And I said, I'm just going to learn as much as I can. I started researching. I read a million articles online. I was listening to podcasts about how to run a boutique from people who have run boutiques for years. So it was all kind of self-taught as far as like the wholesale part of it, the website part of it. And I'm still definitely learning every day. So it all just happened really fast.
Wow.
And it's been slowly falling into place ever since. I think it was only 60 days between when I got the space and I opened the store. So just it all happened very fast.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, you started the year off, and this wasn't even a blip on the radar,
No,
was it?
it literally was not. So I'm so happy I did it now and took that leap of faith, but it was definitely a leap of faith.
I mean, you jumped into the deep end.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know so many people come in and they're like, so when did you start your website? Like assuming that I had the website for years and then went into brick and mortar. I was like, nope, I'm just learning as I go, and I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to, learn from my mistakes. So there's a lot of that happening too, kind of behind the scenes, but I'm trust myself to just learn from it and move forward. So that's where I'm at now.
That makes sense. And then the name, how'd you come up with that?
Yeah, so my family calls me Sunny. They always have, and it's funny because my mom or my dad will walk in the store and say, hey, Sunny, and I don't even hear it, but I can see a couple of customers kind of like laughing at it because I don't even notice when they don't call me Sydney. They always have my whole life. I think it started that my sister couldn't really say Sydney correctly when she was little. And then I was kind of a grumpy kid, so it was kind of like a joke, like, oh, she's so sunny. She has such a sunny personality. And I feel like sitting there scowling in a corner. So that was kind of just a joke, and it just stuck. And all the way through, I have some college friends that call me Sunny. And so when I started the business, so many people are like, you have to call it Sunny's and do this, bright kind of retro theme, and it would go along with it so well. So that was another thing that I don't really remember the day that I made that decision. It all just kind of fell together. So
very neat.
Yeah.
Good. And I love that your family's so involved and so
yes,
supportive.
They're so involved.
And so your parents are in the area and they help out. And
Yep. They live in Brighton. I grew up in Northville, but my parents moved to Brighton 2 years ago. So that's another reason I felt like it would be great to be here. And my sister and her family, they live in Milford, and she's got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So that really inspired a lot of the baby and toddler clothes that I have in there because I love shopping for them. So everyone is super involved.
Nice. Yes. How fun.
Yeah.
That seems very, very cool. So what has surprised you the most about starting your own business? Anything?
Yeah. It surprised me the amount of support that I did get. I guess I was thinking, if I do this, I'm going to be kind of out on a limb by myself, and
on an
the
island.
amount, the amount of personal contacts that I have, like my family and friends that reached out to help was amazing. One of my good friends, Erin, she came in and was just tagging clothes for hours and hours with me a couple days before we opened. So it's just small things like that made a really big difference for me. And then also, like we talked about before, the community support is just something that was kind of out of left field. I knew a little bit about the Brighton community, and my husband Jimmy's been involved for so long, and he knows a lot of people, but I just didn't expect people to be so upfront and just, coming right into the store, giving me gifts and giving their phone number and saying, here, call me if you need anything. And so that, I think, support from both ends was really surprising, and just, I'm proud of the community after going through that.
So Livingston County.
Yes, absolutely.
And a lot of times that's kind of the answer. I always ask, what do you like best about Livingston?
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, it's the people and it's the community, and it's hard to know that unless you're downtown often. So I try to encourage everyone I know, go to the festivals, go just stroll around downtown one day, and it's surprising how many contacts you'll meet and how friendly people are, and just reaching out and wanting to help with whatever you're doing.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying we're always running into people we know when we're down there, don't even think about it.
And I think with the shopping and such, I mean, when you drive through downtown, you see the restaurants and you see the social district and people outside. But when you walk down and go into the shops, you realize there's so much more going down there than you even think there is.
Absolutely. I know there's so many businesses I didn't even know existed until I had the store there, which I'm kicking myself now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have known that. And, a lot of them have more than you think kind of on the inside too. Like, well, even with Speakeasy here, I knew it was a podcast studio. I didn't know that they did marketing as well. And there's just all these different aspects of the businesses, or Culture Beer and Cheese a couple of doors down from me.
Yeah.
They have crepes, they have gelato. I'm
Oh
like,
my
oh my gosh,
gosh.
who even knew? So
Right.
I'm going in there and getting some of that. So there's more to a lot of the businesses than I knew even, before spending so much time downtown.
Right.
We've definitely found that too. That's why it's been so neat to get the different businesses.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure you learn so much every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we've been here 20 years, right?
Yeah.
So I grew up in Novi myself.
Okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
kind of familiar with that Northville idea. But Livingston County is just, when we moved here 20 years ago, it was a lot like how Novi was when I was a kid.
Okay.
And then it got so busy and all that I just.
Well, not only that,
Yeah.
our parents were like, "You're moving where? Why?
It used to be unheard of. It used to be so rural, and now I feel like Howell's the new Brighton, and it'll keep
Yes.
moving that way,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So it makes it nice. But just, the other thing too, I think since the pandemic, more and more people have started small businesses.
Yes, for
And,
sure.
I think having such a supportive environment, allows us to all lift each other up.
Absolutely.
Because,
And I know we're both part of the Sarasnet group. That's what I was going to say. And even that, you see so many new startup businesses and, all these people that have an idea and are really just going for it. And I think COVID allowed people to kind of be at home and sit with their thoughts a little bit and think about what they really wanted to do as far as their business and, their life. And so I think you're right. I think it resulted in a lot more small businesses.
Yeah, and a lot of just creativity. And because in terms of, what we do for a living, we're realtors. I was out with a friend with Witches Night Out, and she kept introducing me as her podcaster friend. Like, well, I guess I do that too,
Yeah.
But it really makes it neat that, having that kind of mindset. And I think the entrepreneurial thought that when you're an entrepreneur at heart, you kind of know deep down, even long before you get into it.
Absolutely.
And because of that, it makes you want to continue to grow, continue to try new things. And I definitely love that. So, and I love that our real estate business has allowed us to be able to do this because.
Oh, yeah.
No, we love talking to all the little businesses, small businesses,
sure.
big businesses, but local. And we find talking to all these business owners that there's that common thread of they all talk about how supportive the community is and how it's not competitive. It's that they all come together to try to build each other up.
Even
sure.
through COVID, a lot of them have shared that people were coming in to buy gift cards. So when they were open, then they could still, stay afloat.
Yeah. I think all the small businesses downtown do a really good job of referring each other too. If there's something I don't have in my store, but I think another store might have it, I'm happy to send them, to whichever store I think would be best. And I hear that, people are coming in and they say, oh, Ivory Vines or Rosie said you might have this. And so there's a lot of that referral back and forth, even just downtown. So that's been great too.
It's nice. And I know it's early on. It's only been a couple months, but obviously, you've kind of been in the area. So the different events that always happen down in Brighton, are there any that are coming up that you're more excited about?
So when I got the keys to Sunny's on, I think, May 2nd, and there was a ladies' night on May 5th. So I put together a little pop-up in the spring, and that was so much fun. So I'm really looking forward to having the ladies' night on December 1st, where the whole store is open and, it's more more legitimate because I had a little pop-up before. So that's something I'm really excited for, just because I know the ladies really come out, kind of like Witches Night in Howell, like you were saying, come out in full force. So I'm really excited for ladies' night. But the festivals have been great. Each one of them kind of brought a different crowd, which was really awesome. So Taste of Brighton was obviously huge, the Barbecue Blues Festival, but there's also the smaller festivals or smaller events like the Alzheimer's Walk we had the other day. Like even those events, I'm always making sure I'm opening early to be a part of those too, because with each one, there's a different group of people coming from, people come from all over the state for those walks. And I want to just make sure that I'm open and, getting that group to know, what Sunny's is and that we're here. So I think while the big festivals are really important, there's also smaller ones too that I've really benefited from and that I've learned a lot about, what kind of people are coming into the store, and they've learned about Sunny's and all of that through even the smaller events.
Wow.
How cool. That is so neat. So much fun. It's like living your dream, and it's all just getting started.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So cool. Neat. Trying to think of other questions is there, anything kind of interesting that you've seen?
So as far as just interesting, I would just go back to the people and, what I've seen in the products. So as far as what I want to have in the store and the products and all of that, I think that I'm going to just have to learn as I go. So, with 3 months under my belt, I started broad, like I was saying earlier. But as I kind of get to know the customers more and more and more, I'm excited to really par down and just figure out some smaller niches and, what's selling and what's not. So that's the part that I think is going to be really fun in the kind of long run that I haven't been able to do yet, just because it's been such a small period of time that I have my data and sales and all of that for.
Right. And I love that idea that you're actually going out to these events in terms of, traveling to Chicago or Las Vegas to go to the wholesale and pick out the clothes that are getting in there. Because if you have that niche or you have that loyal clientele, now they're almost being able to say, well, we like this or we like this.
Definitely.
And you're honing in to have that base that's really supporting you, that's coming in because they know that you're looking out for what they like even.
Exactly. And I'm trying to share a lot on my social media when I go to those and saying, like, what do you like? What brand, or should I get more of this brand sweatshirt or whatever it is? But there's already brands that are different wholesalers that my customers love that I know I'm going to continue to buy from. So I don't even think I'll need to go to as many of these shows in a couple of years from now, because I'll just know what brands I can trust and what brands my customers like. But in the beginning right now, I think it's crucial to kind of get there and be really hands-on and kind of see what's out there.
Especially for the ideas and the new things, and
absolutely,
that makes perfect sense.
Yes.
So how neat. Cool. Well, in terms of, for people to come shop there, do you think of yourself more as a gift shop or a clothing shop? Or, how should
I would say mostly clothing for now. And I know as the holidays roll around, I think it'll be more gifts as well too. I know it's kind of harder to buy clothing as gifts for people than, it's a little bit easier to buy candles or scarves or books or that type of thing. So I've already started ordering a lot that will arrive in November and December, and that stuff is a little bit more gift focused than compared to what I've had in the past 3 months, which is more clothing focused. So more pillows and candles and soaps and things like that than I would usually have, I think, is what I'll have in the winter time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, but this is kind of the part of the show where we want to make sure to toss out your website and
how do people find you? When are you open? All of that kind of stuff.
So in-store shopping, our address is 334 West Main Street. We're right in the middle of downtown. Our hours are 11 to 6 on weekdays, and then we're open till 7 on Friday and Saturday nights. So a little bit later for that dinner crowd downtown Brighton. Those hours will stay the same throughout the fall. And then for online, it's sunniesonthecorner.com. Facebook is Facebook/sunniesonthecorner, and Instagram is sunniesonthecorner. It's a long name, which is, kind of annoying to type out the first time, but then it'll be saved there and you'll have all the info. I post a lot on Facebook and Instagram. One of the most important things that I do on there is every Wednesday I do What's New Wednesday, and I post everything that's new since the past Wednesday. So if you are just somebody who's looking to not miss out on what's new, Wednesday's a great time to go on our social media, and you'll see everything that's new in the past week with links to buy it online. And it's everything that's posted there is in store as well. So that's kind of our big social media campaign every week is the What's New Wednesday. And then probably around like daily, I am posting something else, whether it's a community event or just something new that we're really excited that we got in, or if there's a sale going on or something like that. There's a lot of posts about that type of thing as well.
Great. Yeah. And then for your products, once they're gone, right?
Once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah. So if you see it there and you're thinking about it, make sure to buy it because it
absolutely. And I'm happy you brought that up because that's something I'm really passionate about, is making sure I'm always getting new stuff. But with that will come smaller quantities. So, I'd rather have, instead of buying 20 of each item and having 10 new items each week, I'd rather buy 20 new items each week and only have 10 of each item, So they're definitely smaller quantities. Get it while it's there. But that allows me to have so many new products each week, which I think is really exciting, especially for people who live right in Brighton who might be coming downtown once a week. If they come in, they can expect 15 to 20 new things every week that they're since they've been in. So,
oh, fantastic.
so I'm definitely trying to do small quantities and a lot of new items every week.
Yeah, it's high quality, but you come back in a month and it's a whole new shop. So
Exactly.
you get to, it doesn't get old.
Right. And that I think will help with, customer retention and return customers. And, I don't want anything stale. So, I'm buying smaller quantities, but something like the maybe next year shirt that we were talking about, if it's selling out immediately that week, I'll just reorder it. So I always have that option as well. I would say most of the fashion stuff, like the baby and women's stuff is, I usually am just buying once or maybe twice, but the T-shirts I've been reordering as people like them, and the season is still on for whatever sport it's for. So,
right.
So yeah, I'm always trying to have a lot of turnover.
Gotcha. So if somebody sees something, they didn't buy it, just talk to you and see what happens.
See if I can reorder.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm always looking for feedback or looking, you can reach out to our store phone via calling or texting too. So we have an iPhone for the store phone. So oftentimes people will text and say, hey, do you still have a medium left in the sweater that you posted on social media yesterday? Or can you order any more of the Tigers t-shirt or whatever it is? They can also message me on Facebook or Instagram too. And I'm happy, because that feedback helps me. If there's more than one person who wants something back in store, then I'm happy to reorder it too.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, that sounds great. And I hope our listeners have a chance to come on out and shop at the store or find you online.
Absolutely.
And check it all out.
Yeah. So no, thank you so much for coming in today. We
Thanks.
really appreciate it. And I would say to check out your store, check it out online. And also,
notes.
Yeah, in our show notes, there's always a link to your site, but check us out on Spotify, anywhere you find podcasts.
Oh, great.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, thank you. And welcome to Livingston.